All right, let's dive in. We're about to crack open one of the most famous poems in American literature. And what we're looking for, well, it's a radical kind of hidden meaning. It's very deep inside that explosive final line, and I'm telling you, it might just change how you see this poem forever. And it all starts right here with this one question from Langston Hughes. A question that you can feel it, right? It just hangs in the air. It's heavy, it's tense, and it sets the stage for, well, everything. Right away, Hughes just starts turning up the heat. You get these rapid-fire images, one after another, all about decay. It starts with this one, a dream that was supposed to be plump and full of life, and now it's just shriveled up, baked dry by pure neglect. And then, wow, the language gets even more unsettling. See, it's not just about something drying up anymore. Now we're talking about infection, a wound that just won't heal, that poisons you from the inside out. You can almost feel that discomfort he's building, can't you? It's really visceral. And then he hits us with this, the final image before the big question. It's this feeling of just pure exhaustion, a physical weight, a burden that literally wears you down day in and day out. This isn't just about some idea being put on hold. This is a real, physical force pressing down on a person, on an entire community. A question that festers, Langston Hughes and the collective wound. Okay, so to really get the power of that question and those images, we've got to understand the man behind them and the world he was living in. Because this isn't just poetry, folks. This is testimony. So picture it. It's 1951. Langston Hughes publishes this poem. Now, this is a man who survived the Harlem Renaissance, right? He saw all that bright promise, that explosion of art and culture, get squeezed by the slow, suffocating chokehold of Jim Crow. For him, this idea of a deferred dream wasn't some abstract concept. He basically inherited it. It was his birthright. And that's what allowed him to tap into what's called the collective wound, that shared pain of his entire community. The mind under pressure, the neurology of a deferred dream. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Hughes's genius wasn't just about capturing a moment in time. No, it was about how he literally engineered the poem to have a physical, psychological effect on us, the readers. It's not just telling us about pressure, it's designed to make us feel it, right in our own brains. Seriously, you can think of this poem as a kind of neurological hack. So those first images, the rotting, the festering, they're basically designed to set off your brain's alarm system, the amygdala. That's where you get that feeling of dread, that anxiety. But then, just when you're feeling that, the poem pivots. And that final explosive possibility, bam, that hits your brain's reward system, flooding it with dopamine. It's this incredible 1-2 punch. He builds up all this dread and then offers this shocking, powerful release. It's masterful. So, you gotta wonder, right? Where does all that suppressed energy actually go? Well, psychology has a name for this. It's called the Jungian shadow. It's basically the storage container in your unconscious mind for everything you push down, all that rage, all those desires, and yeah, all those deferred dreams. And the thing is, it doesn't just go away. It builds. It accumulates over time. And this is the battle that's happening inside. You've got the id, that's your primal desires, just surging, screaming for release from all the waiting. Then there's the ego, that's the part that's actually carrying that heavy load, trying to deal with society's rules. And then you have eros, the life drive itself, the thing that could ignite that final liberating blast. It's a full-on conflict, a war, playing out under the surface. A timeless deferral from 1951 Harlem to today. And this, right here, is where the poem becomes, well, timeless. It was written about 1951 Harlem, for sure, but that central feeling, that theme of deferral, it has completely broken free from that one time and place. It is speaking directly to us right now. I mean, think about it. That feeling of a postponed future, it is everywhere. You see it in the insecurity of the gig economy. You see it in the constant, frustrating delays for justice. You definitely feel it in that overwhelming sense that our climate future is just being kicked down the road. That question Hughes asked, it's echoing louder today than it ever has. And this leads to a really crucial idea. The poem completely reframes how we think about waiting. We're always told that patience is a virtue. Well, this poem challenges that idea, big time. There's this incredible phrase for it. The poem decolonizes patience. It basically insists that when you defer dreams over and over and over, a reckoning isn't just possible, it's inevitable. The alchemy of explosion, a blueprint, not a warning. So this brings us to what might be the most radical idea of all. What if that famous ending, that explosion, what if it's not the tragedy we've always been taught it is? What if it's something completely different? Okay, look at this. On one side, you've got the traditional reading, the explosion is a warning, right? A destructive blast, a tragedy about what's been lost. But on the other side is this radical new idea that it's a blueprint, not an end, but a beginning, an alchemical call to action. It's not about destruction, it's about the violent but necessary birth of a brand new reality. Science actually gives us a really powerful way to think about this. It's called a phase transition. Just think about water boiling. The energy builds and builds and builds until it hits a critical point, and boom, the water is forced to become something new. Steam. The explosion in the poem might be just like that. It isn't just destruction, it's the creation of a totally new state of being. And when you look at it this way, you have to credit Hughes's genius. He's like a jazz improviser, It suggests he did this on purpose. He intentionally encoded this double meaning, hiding this incredible creative potential right inside what everyone thought was just a warning. It is an absolute masterstroke of poetic subversion. And this is the ultimate shift. The poem takes us from being a passive victim of a deferred dream to being an active agent of change. We stop waiting for the explosion to happen to us. We take all that energy that's been pushed down and we harness it. We don't fear the blast, we become it. So here we are, right back where we started, with that final hanging question. But it sounds different now, doesn't it? It's not a whisper of dread anymore. Now it feels like the hum of pure potential, the spark right before the ignition. It's not a warning, it's an electrifying, empowering, and maybe even necessary possibility.